Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the Apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the Akim who are tuning to these videos. Alright, so the topic of this video is going to be about how Esau is defiling the earth with all his forever chemicals, as this article states it. So this article was posted on the 23rd of January, 2020, Year of Prophecy. Alright, so the article says, toxic forever chemicals found in drinking water throughout U.S., the United States. Alright, so it says, a study released Wednesday by an environmental watchdog group found heightened levels of potentially toxic chemicals in tap water supplies serving dozens of major American cities. The report, published by the Environmental Working Group, found that 20 cities and regions nationwide, including Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, Miami, Louisville, Kentucky, contained FPAS levels of at least 10 parts per trillion. 43 areas, including New York City, Nashville, Las Vegas, and Sacramento, had detected PFAS at least 1 part per million. Only one city, Meridian, Mississippi, which used well water 700 feet below the surface, found no PFAS, while Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and Seattle had levels lower than 1 part per million, limited advised by the EWG. PFAS, per and polyfluoroalkyl, I don't know how to say the word, Slovakia, said the substance, also known as forever chemicals, have been linked to reproductive and developmental, liver and kidney, and immunological effects, as well as high cholesterol and obesity. So Esau Edom, he's pretty much defiling the earth with these chemicals that, he invents, and you think that they're good for you. He makes non-stick frying pans, and you think that's a great invention. How could we have ever been living before the non-stick frying pans and plastic water bottles? Well, pretty much, you were actually living way better before those things. Because everything that Esau makes is for death. Alright, so continuing the article, it says PFAS compounds remain in food packaging, cookware, and other consumer products. So there's no escape from these PFASs. These forever chemicals. They're in the food packaging, cookware, and other consumer products. Let's say if there's a Jake somewhere in America, Mississippi or whatever, and they got well water, that doesn't have chemicals in it, but I wouldn't assume that Esau doesn't have some sort of, poison there as well. You got some chickens in the backyard. I'm painting a little image. You got chickens in the backyard, and you eat eggs. It's all fresh, Ultimately, Esau Edom is going to find a way to poison you, because you got to remember, he's doing chemtrails, he's doing everything. The poison even within the media, like psychological poison that, he feeds to everybody, and your children. So there's literally no escape from all these poisons that Esau Edom has been defiling the earth with. The only thing is pretty much is Yahweh Shai has to, deliver the elect from this wicked queendom, and then destroy it with thermonuclear fire so that he can cleanse it. Because these forever chemicals ain't forever really. They're forever until Esau's world ends. Alright, so continuing on, it says they are also still used in firefighting foam through Wisconsin, New York, Washington, and Colorado are being switched to non-PFAS foam, either due to action by state legislation or by self-regulated by individuals' fire departments. It must also be phased out in fire departments nationwide by 2024. And I honestly don't think Esau's got that many years left. As a statement says, we do not know how long these communities have been drinking PFAS contaminated water, but we do know that these chemicals have been used and discharged all across the country for years, said EWG president and co-founder Ken Cook in a statement. Alright, so pretty much, you get the gist of it. Esau Edom, he's the one in charge of the world, and he's pushing out all these, poisons, wicked philosophies, everything, that's wicked. Esau's doing that while he's in charge of the world. Alright, so I got these precepts lined up. Now it says Matthew 24 verse 22 says, "And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened." So with these forever chemicals, one of the things when you come into, when you set foot in this ministry, you start becoming a new man. You start, seeing, perceiving that Esau, Edom, your enemy, is poisoning you with all these foods and pretty much everything. And that's why we were giving this knowledge, and with that knowledge, we get the tools to counteract these things. We pray over the food that we eat. The scriptures say that a wise man won't abhor the herbs, because we start learning about the herbs, things we need to eat, so that we can counteract death pretty much. And there's one thing I wanted to state too. It says except those days should be shortened, because these days are going faster and faster. It says that no flesh should be saved. So if you could assume that, like, if Yahweh Shai were to return tomorrow on the 26th of January 2020, but Esau was given one extra day to rule over this earth, there should no flesh be saved. That's a bold statement, but I believe it's very true. And that's why it says that no man knoweth the hour or the time when Yahweh Shai returns. But in an assumption that if Esau was given more time after that, no flesh would be saved. But it says for the elect's sake that those days should be shortened. And the hopefully elect, they're the ones praying, over their food, and praying pretty much, for fewer days, so that we don't have to live in this captivity for longer. Because if we did, we'd be dead. There'd be no flesh saved. All the trees would be dead. All the fish would be dead. Alright, so I got another precept lined up. This is Ezekiel 4 verse 13. It says, "And the Lord Yahweh said, Even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whither I will drive them." Over here in America, which is known as Babylon the Great, we're serving a captivity. We're serving a punishment that the Heavenly Father put, the nation of Israel under. And what he did is he put Esau, Edom over us, to rule over us, and pretty much, destroy the earth. And there's no escape, because if he's ruling every corner of the earth, Jake wouldn't be able to save himself, because the only person that can save Israel, the nation Israel, the so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, out of this literal hell that we're living in, is his son Yahweh Shai. That's the only thing. You can't have one Israelite that didn't need Yahweh Shai. Pretty much the whole nation of Israel needs Yahweh Shai, but only the hopeful elect, the 144,000 and the 1/3 are going to be saved out of this coming destruction. Alright, so this is Micah 2 verse 10. It says, "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction." So just with an assumption, let's say that there's an Israelite that's living in Meridian, Mississippi. They don't have to deal with forever forever chemicals in their water. But ultimately, Esau's, like I said, he's throwing chemtrails at you. He's throwing vaccinations at you. He's throwing GMOs at you. There's literally no rest here in America, which is known as Babylon. Alright, so this is Isaiah 24 verse 5. It says, "The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof." And the main inhabitants this is talking about is Esau, Edom, because the earth is given to him to rule for a little time, and he's running it to the ground. He's got forever chemicals all over the place, giving everybody cancer and various diseases and ailments. Alright, so it says, the earth is also, like it says, the earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. So Esau, Edom, he knows the laws and the statutes and commandments of the Bible, because at one time he picked up the Bible. And so he's doing these things. The Bible doesn't say to make Teflon, non-stick frying pans and plastics, because before he put them out there, he did studies and tests, and he knows these things give you cancer. And that was his MO. because that's ultimately he was actually concocting things that would give you cancer in this certain way. Alright, so this precept is Jeremiah 51 verse 6 says, "Flee out of the midst of Babylon, and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense." It's pretty much it's a precept that goes to Micah 2 and 10. So we can't be attached to this world here in Babylon. Because we coming into this ministry, that there's going to be a time, an hour, where Yahushua returns and pretty much raises hell on Esau Edom and delivers the remnant of his people. Alright, so this is Revelation 11 verse 18. It says, "And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great." So when you step foot in this ministry, you start being aware of these things that Esau Edom is doing. And there's a judgment for these things. But also when you come into this ministry, you start doing this work. You go out to the highways and hedges. You do these videos, these epistles. You be brotherly. You do things that the hopeful elect would be doing. So that we can get that reward of salvation, that crown of righteousness. But then on the flip side, is Esau Edom's going to get a reward of destruction. He's going to get a reward of punishment for the things that he's been doing. So continue on the precept. It says, "And shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth." So you got the prophets, and the saints. They're preaching and prophesying for fewer days, and for the return of Yahushai, so that day happens sooner. And that destroy them that destroy the earth. And who's destroying the earth? Well, let's just say it's somebody. I don't know who, but whoever it was the guy who invented forever chemicals, and that person's Esau Edom. All right, so I got this precept because I'm speaking about Yahushai's return. And when he returns, he's going to do a number of things. He's got his whole arsenal ready for that day, and in his arsenal are thermonuclear missiles. Those things are going to melt the elements with fervent heat. Because technically these forever chemicals, they're not forever. What's going to happen is on Yahushai's return, he's going to cleanse the earth with fire. And it needs it bad. Like I was saying, if Esau Edom were to continue to run this earth, it would no flesh be saved. So the earth, not only the remnant of the nation Israel, but the earth needs Yahushai to return. Alright, so this is 2 Peter 3 verse 10. It says, "But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that therein shall be burnt up." And the only thing that this is talking about, or can be talking about, is those thermonuclear missiles that are going to be shot off here in America. And verse 11 says, "Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of person are ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness, looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of the Most High, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat." In verse 13 it says, "Nevertheless, we," the prophets, the saints, the hopeful elects, the ones who are, preaching and prophesying the downfall of this kingdom, and, praying for fewer days, says, "Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness." And, when it says new heavens and new earth, it's talking about a renewed earth. I got that here in the blue letter. And it says kainos, the word for new, and it says fresh. So pretty much what's going to happen is Yahushua is going to come and hit the reset button and destroy the forever chemicals that Esau Edom has been putting out here, and then enslave him, and then pull hell on him, on the one who's been destroying the earth. The one who's been destroying the earth is going to be destroyed, as says the scriptures, the Bible. So, that's the end of this video. I highly recommend Akim, continue to pray over your food. There's times where you forget to, but it's never too late to pray for your food. Even right after you ate it, you prayed, but you feel like you just need to pray some more. I recommend praying for it. You know, we gotta ultimately pray for fewer days in this wicked captivity, because if Esau were to have just one extra day, no flesh would be saved. So that's the end of this video. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash, and Shalom Akim.